As a buyer, are you going to have to pay your buyer agent going forward? So you may have heard about a lawsuit that was found against the National Association of Realtors by sellers, basically saying we don't want to pay buyer agents anymore. So as a buyer, you should have to pay your own agent. Now, the settlement that they are offering is not making sellers paying a buyer agent illegal. It's not taking that away. What it is doing is taking away the notice of it. So let's backtrack a little bit. So when I, as a listing agent, sit down with a seller, we decide on the commission that I am getting paid. We also decide from that amount I'm getting paid, how much of that will go to the buyer's agent if the buyer has one. Okay? That's how it has worked since I've been an agent, and all of that is negotiable. The seller has always had the ability to say, I'm not paying any of that to a buyer agent. Most of them do not, because they see the value of you bringing your buyer, the agent bringing you as a buyer to their home and buying it. So they've always done that. So I don't think most sellers are going to do this, but they do have the option to say, no, I'm not paying anything. They've always had it, but they haven't done it. But they might now, right? So what does that mean for you? You, as a buyer, sign an agreement with your agent saying, I will pay you this much. In that paragraph, it also says if the seller is offering some commission to a buyer agent, it will count against that amount. And typically, it has paid all of it. Or you renegotiate with your agent if there is a difference, whatever happens there. Most buyers have never paid the commission out of their pocket. I think I've had one buyer that has done that in 11 years. So it just hasn't really happened in the past. Okay. So now that the sellers are more aware, they don't have to offer anything. If they are not, what happens? Who pays the agent? Do you have to have an agent? Yes. Let's get into it. So you have that agreement with your agent. That is always going to happen when you hire an agent. You're going to have that agreement and you have agreed how much you're going to pay. The only difference that this settlement brings is that you will not know if the seller is offering a commission, because they're not going to allow us as agents to put it in the MLS. And the MLS is what puts all of the houses on all the websites that you probably use, like Realtor.com, Redfin, and Zillow. Okay, so right now if you go to all of those websites, you will see a buyer agent commission, usually a percentage, right? So you know how much the seller is offering to pay your agent. That is going away. It's just going away on the websites. The seller can still offer to pay your agent. Most of them probably will. So your agent is going to have to do a little bit of work to find out how much they are offering. They can call the other agent, email them, whatever. There will probably be other ways that come out of this, but currently all we know is that it will not be listed in the MLS. Okay, so let's say you do call the agent and the agent says, nope, they're not offering anything. Now what happens? You are still responsible for paying your agent. What if you have no money? That is where the problem comes in, right? Now, if they are not offering anything, you and your agent can still negotiate for them to pay something. That is not going away. It is not illegal for sellers to pay a buyer agent. So you can negotiate. You can put it right out there. Listen, I want to offer on your home, but I can't pay my agent. So will you pay them this much? Right? So there's going to be a lot of negotiating, a lot more calling around and getting information. It's going to be an extra step, but they still can pay your commission. Now, if they absolutely will not, and you have an agreement with your agent and you absolutely cannot pay it, there are other things you can do, like looking at houses where sellers are offering commission, right? You may be able to ask for closing costs so that you can pay your agent fee and the seller pays the closing cost. Maybe they are more comfortable with that. It's the same money in the end, but this is all about negotiation tactics, right? Now, let's say there's a home you absolutely really want. They're not paying. Your agent is not saying, I'm going to work for free. What happens then? You can, of course, cancel your contract with your agent and go to the listing agent. Do I recommend that? Absolutely not. No, because, especially in Virginia, sellers do not have to tell you anything that is wrong with the home. Agents do, but only if they know about it, which they don't live in the home, so they probably don't know any more than what you can see in a walkthrough when you go view the home, right? So the reason you want your own agent is to protect you, just like the seller has their own agent to protect them, right? So this could limit your buying power if you believe that you should have your own agent and you can't afford them. This could absolutely affect you. Currently, if you are a veteran who wants to use a VA loan, you cannot pay your agent. It is illegal. Okay, so that is probably something that will change. I imagine the Veterans Administration is going to be looking at that and going, okay, we need to change this rule because we don't want to limit our veterans from being able to buy, right? So in the end, this could affect you. This could affect the homes that you are able to purchase if you want your own agent, and it could affect your ability to protect yourself if you don't have your own agent. Unfortunately, that is kind of the bottom line currently. What is already happening is buyers suing now on the other side, saying, you know, this is putting us at a disadvantage. So who knows what will happen in the future, but that is currently what it is. It is not making seller paying the buyer agent illegal. It's just taking that rate off of the websites, and we're going to have to do a little more work on the back end to find out if they are offering anything, and then potentially more work trying to get your agent paid so that you can purchase. So if you have any questions, I feel like I was rambling a little bit in this one, but if you have any questions, please reach out. We haven't seen anyone not offering anything for a buyer agent yet, so it is still a good time to buy right now before this goes into effect and more sellers hear about this and potentially say, nope, I'm not paying. But I don't think there's going to be a rush of every single seller saying, I'm just not paying. It may limit your choices, but we'll see how it goes. So let me know if you have any questions.